It is 7 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order. If everyone is ready. First item on the agenda is pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I learned my lesson of waiting to start pledging stuff, but he's ready. He's planning commission a while ago.
Yeah, a little suspense.
I got a pretty dirty look.
Everybody on there.
That's what I'm saying. If the clerk could call the roll, that'd be great.
Trustee Cappy,
Here.
trustee Hoff,
Present.
trustee Abedlin,
Here.
president Gerke,
Here.
trustee Dorwart,
Yes.
trustee Bart, here, trustee Miley. Thank you.
We're having a quorum. We will move forward. Are there any public comments, anything that's not on the agenda tonight?
I would like to just make a quick note. We do have our first annual Fredonia Winter Walk coming up on January 20th. It's going to be held at Marie Krause Park. We're going to be having a candlelit walk through the park, similar to what we did for the Madonia Run. I would like to ask the board for volunteers, if anybody would like to come and help volunteer that evening for a couple hours, help people get through the walk itself, help man the bonfire, things like that. So if anybody is interested in helping for a couple hours, please reach out to myself or Administrator Jenkins or President Gerke. That would be wonderful.
Jump off the scale.
If you want to.
I'm gonna burn stuff, so it'll be great.
It's Saturday.
Mhm, mhm. All right, anything else for the good of the order? All right, then we will move on. We have the consent agenda, which is the minutes of December 7th, 2023. And then we have the general fund, water and sewer invoices. I will note that what the invoices or the bills that you see in the packet are the ones that were paid in December, and then the ones that are here are the additional bills that just came in between when the last meeting was going to be and now.
Move to approve the consent agenda with the additional bill.
Second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have the report on the joint review board, and Rick, if you want to take that since you were there, if that works.
Not a lot of stuff to report, but not any back already. The Sandy spot,
Citizen.
representative, remain the same. She pointed out. Yeah, the statute says that they're appointed until then. So the makeup of the board remained unchanged. We reviewed the TID report, the annual report. And sure. Not a lot of motion.
Any questions for the chairman of the joint review board? If not, we will move on for items for discussion and or action. The first being a motion to approve 2022 and 2023 updates to the village code of ordinances, not to exceed 12,000, and I will let our clerk take it from here.
So this one is mine, and this covers 2022 and 2023 changes that the board made to ordinance over the last 2 years. And this is to update our 3 physical binders in the office, but more importantly, our online platform. So they do, general code is the vendor, and they do a few things. They do a legal review of the ordinances, see if they're in conflict with any of our existing ordinance. They do appropriate citing. They remove old ordinances that have been repealed and replace them with the new ones. And the reason it's so much higher than it has been in years past is both because it covers 2 years of work that you've done, but also because the clerk treasurer change that you made in 2022 touches over 200 places in the ordinances. And so all of those pages need to be adjusted and replaced. Can I answer any questions?
And I'll just add, this was a budgeted expense.
Oh, yes.
It
the
was
most
booked in your
important
budget and planned for.
Yeah. So it was approved as part of this, the CIP and then as part of the budget as a whole.
Did we get a quote from them?
Yes, it's in the packet.
Oh, right after.
So it's between, we had budgeted $12,000 for it, which was my best guess, and it came between, 10,995 and 11,930. So the most they said it would be is $11,930.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. The updates of those for the general code. For the not to exceed $12,000.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions or discussion on this? If not, I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a motion to approve the BCPLE State Trust Fund Loan Application in the amount of $106,100, which finances the purchase of a skid steer and pickup truck. I will note. I will note that this and the next the actual resolution following are basically the same thing. The first thing we're doing is we're approving the application. The second would be resolution to actually borrow the funds. And again, these were both part of the CIP for this year. Is there any, you want to add to that at all?
I can.
You can or can't?
I can.
Oh, okay.
If you'd like.
If you need.
Pretty much, as you guys know, there's two different groups of borrowing that we're doing. A much larger one on the market, it's called a geo bond. And then there's a couple items that are not eligible to be funded through a geo bond that we could go pretty much take out a smaller loan for, and that's the two items that you see there. We did do our due diligence with our local bank, Port Washington State Bank. We gave them an option first before we went through the state to see what their rates were, see if they can get us a better rate of return. They could not, which is why we then went to the state. You guys have had state trust fund loans prior. They're very easy. The rate stays the same. It's a shorter term. So this one is over, I believe, 10 years. Do they have an estimated rate in there? I'm trying to see.
6.25.
Thank you. At the 6.25 rate.
It's 6.25 and 50.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is there any prohibition to refinancing that? If we can find better rates at some point in the future, maybe?
I would be happy to do that.
Yes. We don't have to hold it for 4 years first.
Correct. Correct.
Now,
Yep.
both of these implements, skid loader and the pickup truck are going to be purchased and built within 24. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they were approved as part of your CIP list. Yep. And just bring it up because there was a question on social media about tax rate. I printed off the sheet for you, and it can be complicated. There's a lot of stuff on here, but I'll try to high level explain what this is showing. So the existing debt shows obviously our existing debt that we have. And then on the far right, you see the projected tax rate for debt service. So if you picture the number one being your current debt, I'm sorry, the tax rate of your current debt levy, then as you pay down your debt, right, the tax the tax impact's gonna go down. So when you look on the right side of this whole sheet, when you add in the GO bonds and the state trust fund bonds, you see that even with those added in, it does not go back to one, which means that even adding in this debt, we're paying off enough debt that it doesn't impact the tax rate any more than we currently are at, if that makes sense. So I just wanted you to have that explanation in case you get asked.
Right. Thank you very much. Any other questions for the administrator? If not, then.
I have a question, so these are budgeted items, right? Is that correct? Is there a reason why, I mean, if it's in the budget, why would it fall?
In the budget, we planned on borrowing.
Okay, that was in the budget originally.
Correct, correct. Yep.
Good question. All right, so first would be in order to approve the state trust fund loan application, and then we'll do the second one, the actual resolution afterwards.
Need a motion to approve the borrowing of $106,100 from DCL two, or DCL. The kid motor and pickup truck.
Second,
All right, I have a motion.
Just to confirm, you're making a motion to approve the loan application?
Yeah, to approve borrowing, the loan act, whatever the rate you have.
All right. We'll do it separate. What the hell?
So they were very specific about the language of the motion when I spoke to them on the phone. That we needed to have one motion that specifically approves the application for the loan. And so that's what trustee Dorward just made, correct?
Once they say approve the borrowing, approve the application to borrow.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
We have, okay, thanks.
I think we understood that probably.
And
Still good,
trustee
Kurt?
Miley,
I understand it, yes.
Okay.
I'll still second it.
thank you.
Oh, thanks. All right, then I will call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have the resolution 2024-01.
I'm gonna take a roll call.
I don't know, will it?
We have.
Yeah, so the resolution would require a roll call. They want each trustee listed and how they voted
That's true.
on the paperwork. Your trustee.
Alrighty, then we'll do a roll call vote for that. Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. We will start with trustee Pappy.
Aye.
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 All right. Hearing no nays, the motion passes unanimously. Right, and then we have correspondence, which is the mid-marine. This is really quick, guys. Freaking out here a little bit. I feel like we missed something. All right. All right, we have the Mid-Marine Municipal Association. This is the meeting that we were actually supposed to host, but we switched with Port Washington. Looks like it's going to be at the, I can't remember what you said. Tavern, Port. Correct. Looks like we have either beef tips, lemon, chicken piccata, and then salad, beverage, and dessert. But we need to get back to them by January 15th, 2024. So if you all could get back to the clerk before then, that would be great to give a head count.
I'll go. We're gonna take one.
Thanks, Don. Did someone else say anything?
Any items for future consideration?
Any trustee. Pardon, any trustee is eligible and can go to the Jackson Village Hall on the I believe it's the second Wednesday of each month, to attend their legislative committee meeting. If that's of interest to anyone.
Right, that came through as correspondence a while ago, right?
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't, send out something again for that.
Well, it says right here what the meeting schedule is, but what time do they do that?
it says at 7:05.
That's at the Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think the one that we got earlier was more descriptive.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, you guys. I totally spaced on this. Yes, that was in your packet originally. Clerk Johnson told me about that. And I completely escaped it for whatever reason. But yes, that's in your packet, the mid-marine meeting schedule. Says the dates again. I think we said 7 o'clock, right? So that's what was in your packet. And then the mid-marine dinner was the one that I was just talking about. It's been a month since I've held a meeting. All right. Thank you for that. Don.
It's gonna take me 5 minutes, but
Anything else to the good of the order? Any items for future consideration before we adjourn? We are ready.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Out here at 7:16. That may be almost the record.
I
feel like you're gonna.
Good job. Give me the 16-minute one.
No, that's-